Hi, welcome to Creative Pouring by Cheryl. I'm Cheryl. Today we're going to do this hummingbird, and I'm going to put it on a bangle that we're going to make, and then I'm going to put some flowers that I'm going to pick out, and we're going to make a hummingbird hanger. You'll see when I'm done. I've picked out these 4 colors. They're all from Nickpro. Come on, focus. Well, it's not wanting to focus, but these are the Nickpro. I've got the purple, red, purple, blue. No, red, blue, purple. I can't read that one, but it's a green, yellow, blue, gold, yellow, blue. That one's the blue, green. And that one's the purple, blue. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead and put these colors on this little guy. We'll start off with this blue. And when you get in here, make sure you open it up to get in there. These chameleon powders are easy to put on, but they're easy to get everywhere else too. Okay, let's see, got that. I'm gonna do tails. I like to pick different colors for the different wings, or the different feathers, because it just makes it look prettier. Tap off your powder when you get ready to do that, and you won't have as much cleanup. So put some on, but it doesn't have all that messiness if you tap it off. I love hummingbirds. I used to work at the store one time, big warehouse store, and we had birds flying around in there all the time. And one day, I used to work in the paint department. One day, I was sitting there and a hummingbird was in the paint department. It was crazy. I couldn't believe it. I got a picture of it. It's so cute. But I felt so bad for him. I tried to get him out. One of the customers was trying to help me, and then he flew away from my area. If I can find the picture and you want to see it, I'll put it up. Beautiful, beautiful bird. But yeah, he ended up just sitting there. Waiting to try to get out of there. But he was so cute. Yeah, make sure when you are doing these, you get the mica powder all the way up to the edge. Okay. Let's see. Let me get that little bit out of there where I've messed it, because whatever touches the silicone first is what you're going to see on the other side. And I want him to be nice and clean. So let me get in here and clean a little bit of this up. I'm just taking a little piece of tape to clean it. I love making these. They are so pretty to hang around your house. The sun will catch them just right, and they're so pretty. They're not sun catchers, but they do catch the sun occasionally. And you can back this with whatever color you wish. I choose black because it makes these chameleon powders pop. Ooh, I need to pick out one more color for that body. And I'm going to go with this color here. It's kind of like a rust color. Red, orange, something. I'll mix some of these colors into the bangle when I get ready to do that. Because you want it to look cohesive. You don't want it to look mixed matched. I'm not painting the bangle. I'm just putting the colors in there a little bit. I haven't decided which color yet. But you do want it to look cohesive. Come on, there you go. I'm just using these little micro brushes. They've got a cotton tip on it so it doesn't scratch my mold. I've had these molds for a little while. Make sure you get around the little nib. Some people have said to knock the nib off. It just does not look right. I tried that one time, and the nib doesn't take away from anything. You know, that little area doesn't take away. So I don't see the point of cutting it off. It just takes too much to cut it off. I think I'm going to mix some of that green and mix a little bit of green and the purple for that. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and get off here so I can mix my resin. And I'll be right back. Okay, I've got my resin mixed up. We're going to put some of this resin pigment paste into it. It's black for my bird. It's the, it's on its side for a little bit. This stuff's very pigmented. Stir it up, wipe it off, and then put it in there. And that should be dark enough, because you don't need it solid, but this stuff, like I said, is very pigmented. It's from DIY Craft Resin Pigment Paste, Temu. Okay, stir that up. One thing I learned, you can pour it like this, or you can pour it like this. You've got a bigger spot to pour it from. Make sure you go slow. Make sure there's no bubbles in there. Before you get too much more on there, this little beak, if you don't open it up and coax it down there, or at least get a cotton bud, and just be careful so you don't dislodge the mica powders you put in there. But it's very difficult to get in that hole or in that beak. Once you get it in there, though, you might want to poke it, pinch it. So in case there's any bubbles, because I found that a lot of times I'll get a bubble on this bottom part down here because the resin didn't get in all the way. I think I got it. I pinch and poke all around it. Some people like to drop it like that, gently from the top to get it all in there. As long as your resin, or as long as your mold's not too full of resin, which mine is not. Spray it with 99% alcohol. I'll put it up there. There we go. Put that out of the way. Okay. Now it's time for this. I've got 2 different resin. I split it into 2 cups. Same resin, split it into 2 cups. I'm going to put, I'll put the little red one, in the less. I'm just putting a little bit of chameleon powder in it. Same chameleon powder I used for the hummingbird. And then this one, I'm going to put a little bit of that green blue in it. And then in both of them, put a little bit of this sparkly white, just to give it a little more sheen. I mean, a little more shine, not sheen. It is the silver white glitter from Temu. I'll link it below. Stir it up real good so you don't have any clumps of the paste, and the powder in there. That's a pretty color. Okay. Let that sit for a minute. Stir this one. Oh, I love this color. And same as that one, make sure you don't have any of the little blobs of powder in it, because it can look beautiful and then you got that little blob of powder and it just makes the whole thing off. Oh yeah. See. Okay. I'm going to use the pipettes to soak these up. It makes it easier going in there. I'm just squeezing the knob, putting it in, and letting go. And it'll suck up the color. And get my long neck lighter and pop some of those bubbles that are on the hummingbird. Okay. Now, what you have to do, spread this open and just put it in there. Squeeze the bottle, go down. I'm going to go on this side with this one. I know it takes a while to do this, but this way it's easier to get in there, because I've tried pouring them in there and that's just too hard to open it and pour it. And if I go on either side, they're gonna go and have like not a solid line, but they're gonna just mix on the ends. So it'll be two different colors. And that is a beautiful thing. I'll speed this up so you don't have to watch me do the whole thing. Okay, I got that done. I just kind of like to smooth that down a little bit so it's easier to peel off when I get done. But I have some extras. I'll find something to put them in, and I'll be back when this is ready to demold. Welcome back. Okay, let's go ahead and demold the hummingbird setup. Good, no bubbles in his nose. Okay, you ready? He turned out beautiful. Little tiny bit of cleanup. That ain't nothing. Okay, here's the bangle. That turned out pretty. Got a little cleanup to do on the back side. Won't take too much. Use my deburring tool. Okay. Just had a little bit down here. See if I can get in there and get that. It's easy to use the deburring tool once you get used to it. Getting used to it's the fun part. It's not fun at all. But I've been using mine for a few years, so. Okay. Okay, that looks real pretty. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and clean this up. I'll be back to you in just a few minutes. Okay, I got that done. It just takes a minute longer to do this, and I didn't want you guys to be bored. Look at those that shine. See, you got to be careful too when you do the bangles, because you get these little divots right here, which is a big air pocket. So I wanted to get around it too. But that's no big deal because it's on the back. So now we got to decide where we're going to put our hummingbird. Let's see. Do we want it here? You know? Or do we want it here where the flowers are going to sit on here? I think I like that. Now we got to decide what flowers. what kind of flowers we're going to use. I have all kinds. See, all kinds. That's just some of them. Okay. I think I want to go with the darker flowers because we've got a darker bird and a darker bangle. So let's see. See that one's too light. It's not got the same tone. Let me see what else I have. Ooh, there's one that I didn't have out. There we go. Those three colors would look pretty. Put all these flowers back in here. I keep them in a little jar so I don't lose any of them. Okay. Now here comes the fun part. I use this B700. It dries fairly quick and it works fast, and it's got a little pin that you could poke in there when you're done. Well, I say you can poke it in there. There we go. Okay. So what we got to do, okay, is just make sure that it's right. I'm going to do the hummingbird first. I put a little bit here. And I put a spot here. And then I set it here and I hold it for a few minutes so it won't go nowhere. A lot of times I'll flip it upside down and lay it on it so it won't fall. Okay. I'll be back in a minute when that solidifies a little bit better. Okay. That'll hold long enough for me to be able to do the flowers. What I do with the flowers is I take them and I draw a line with a lot right there in the middle. There we go. And I put them like that. Oops, upside down. Sorry. Put them like that so that the stem is laying on top like that. I put the two separate ones first. And then I put the one in the middle on last. It's just the way I like to do it. You can do it however you'd like to. Then I take this whole thing and I flip it over to make sure that all the glue is on there securely on there like that. Okay, and then I let it sit for about 10 minutes. So I will come back to you when this is dry. Okay, it's been about 10 minutes and they're nice and dry, mostly. So what you need to do, where you're going to hang it from where my fingers are. So the hummingbird is on its side and the flowers are kind of cockeyed. So once you figure that out, you get your little bitty drill and drill a hole where you want your outlet to be, which I want right about there. Okay. Then you take your little eyelet, screw it in. Okay. This is where I have problems with. I have to use needle nose pliers for this. I just grab it like that, and that way I don't drop it, usually. You screw it in there. And be careful because the hummingbird and flowers are still delicate. They're still drying. Once that glue hardens, then you're fine. I've made others and I haven't had any fall off as of yet. And I've been making these now for probably a year. Yeah, for about a year now. Okay. And you can do it that way, or you can screw it in so you hang it that way. If you do it that way, you won't see it as much. So it depends on you, whichever way you want to do it. And then you just get a piece of ribbon, whatever color suits you. I should have had a darker one, but I ran out of my dark ones. Poke it through. Tie yourself a nice little knot. Just a little slip knot works for me. Trim the ends if you want to. Only if you want to. That's up to you. And there you go. You got a hummingbird hanger. I'll get some pictures of it for you out in the sun and show you how pretty it is. There you go. Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe, share, and hit that thumbs up button. It really helps my channel. Thank you.